Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Up to Speed. As you can tell, I'm rocking my Mercedes-Benz hat. What is this? Because I'm going to be talking all about Formula One. So I figured, I haven't really quite seen a video that goes into depth on what exactly Formula One is, how it works, what all the rules are, and all of that. Don't worry though, because I will still be making the usual content that I make, but this is also going to be something in addition to what I make now. Of course, ideally I would have loved to get outside and make more content where I'm actually getting to test drive cars, like the usual stuff that I used to do. But I feel like, of course, with quarantine and everything these past few months, I've sort of just been sitting here trying to make things happen. And I mean, for the most part, I'm getting pretty good feedback from you guys. So of course, if you guys enjoy this video, definitely like it, definitely subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, let's get to it. The best way to figure that out is to start off with the basics. So you have 20 racers and you have 10 teams, meaning 2 racers per team. And of course, of the 10 teams, you have Renault, which if you guys are familiar, if you've been to Europe or if you're based in Europe, or if you're cultured as like I am, then you know that Renault is a French car company, and essentially Renault, the race team, is state-owned because, of course, Renault, the car company, I believe, is at least partially state-owned. Next up, you have Red Bull Racing, and I mean Red Bull, everyone knows Red Bull. They own a Formula One team, they own soccer teams, plural. They own so much because they just have so much money to spend. Then you have Mercedes-Benz, boom, And I'm rocking my Mercedes-Benz hat. Actually not because I'm a fan of Mercedes that much. I do like some of their racers, but more so because I was an engineer at Mercedes-Benz, so I feel like it sort of makes sense for me to rock their merch. And I mean, again, I don't really have to talk much about Mercedes-Benz. We know they've been around forever, and they're of course a German car company. Then you have Williams, which is actually a family. So you have the Williams family, and they used to be racers from way back in the day, and they actually still race today. So it's sort of like a family. I wouldn't say, I guess in a way it's a family-owned business, if you will. But of course, as far as the racers and the pit crew and all of that, they hire people who are experts at that. Then next up, boom, you have McLaren. I feel like true Formula One fans probably hate me because I have like every hat of every team. I don't know, but if I did, it'd probably be pretty funny if I did this for like each team. Regardless, you have McLaren. Again, they're a English company. If you're familiar with your higher end sports cars and supercars, then of course you know McLaren. They make from the 540Cs to the 570Ss to the 720Ss. To what else do they have? They have the Speedtail. They have all sorts of cool higher end vehicles. I don't know if they have very many low end vehicles, but again, boom, McLaren. And then you have Ferrari. Just kidding, I don't have a Ferrari hat. But Ferrari, of course, the Italian car company, they've also been around forever, and they've also been around forever in Formula One, and they're a very popular Italian race team. Next up, you have Alfa Romeo, also an Italian team. Definitely not as big as Ferrari, of course, but recently they've been introduced into the United States, and they're sort of making waves because I feel like if you look around, maybe in the bigger cities, you'll see a few Giulias. We also have Alpha Tauri, which is apparently the right way to say it because I did my research, and all the commentators in Formula One who say Alpha Tauri are wrong. So you have Alpha Tauri, which shocker, they're also owned by Red Bull. I feel like Red Bull have found a way to just dominate everything. So essentially, Alpha Tauri is more or less a feeder to the Red Bull Racing team. So Red Bull Racing is higher tier, Alpha Tauri is a little bit lower tier, but still in Formula One. Then you have Haas Racing, which is owned by, I forget his first name, something Haas. But again, it's an American owner, and they've sort of been around. They're kind of the new kids on the block in a way, and they're sort of trying to break through, and they're not really that great, but it's kind of fun to root for them because, at least for me, I like rooting for the underdog. And then last but not least, you have Racing Point. And I feel like they have the coolest colors. They have pink, their car is pink, they have pink racing gear. And I feel like it just looks cool. And they have pretty solid drivers. This year, Racing Point has been called Pink Mercedes. I'm gonna get into more about that in the following videos. But essentially, to break it down, they sort of took Mercedes-Benz's design from last year that Mercedes-Benz used to win just about everything. And this year, now they're performing really well. Even though they're called Racing Point, they have, like, I mean, somehow legally they're able to get away with it, but everyone kind of knows that they stole, maybe they didn't, but they were heavily influenced by Mercedes-Benz's vehicle from last year. So you have race week, generally starting on Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is race day. So Friday, you have the practice round, and you have FP1, FP2, and FP3. Essentially practice round number 1 and practice round number 2, actually, both of which are on Friday. So you have practice round 1 and practice round 2, which is the chance that the drivers get to test the car. How does it feel? Does it feel good? Does it not feel so good? It also gives the racers a chance to get used to the track because, again, you sort of move from country to country and race in different racetracks. So you sort of have to get used to that before race day. So moving on to Saturday, you have practice round numero 3. And again, more of the same, you just get to get used to your car, but then that sort of slides into the qualifying round. So again, for the qualifying round, you have three parts, or 3 phases, if you will. You have Q1, qualifying round 1, Q2, qualifying round 2, Q3, qualifying round 3. In Q1, you have all 20 racers racing against each other just once around the track to see who's the fastest. The goal is to get your fastest time around the track for 1 lap, and then that, depending on where you rank, of course, fastest goes first, second fastest goes second, all the way down to 20, and that is just for practice round 1, but the 5 slowest cars get eliminated, meaning the slowest 5 cars are going to start in that particular order on race day, and they're out of the running. And then you move over to practice round 2 with the leftover 15 vehicles, and then they race again 1 lap around the track, and you determine the fastest car around that track. The 5 slowest cars again get eliminated, meaning those 5 are also going to be starting in that order on race day. And then practice round 3, you essentially try to get your fastest time, and then those 10 are going to start in that exact order. And then boom, you combine the 10 from practice round number 3, the 5 from practice round number 2, and the 5 from practice round number 1, and that together is 20, which start on the race day. So you have Renault first of all, which I talked about a little bit earlier, but I was talking about their race team. But apart from their race team, they also create engines for Formula 1 vehicles. And then next up, you have Ferrari, one of the biggest race teams, also create engines for Formula 1 teams. And then you have Mercedes-Benz, boom, they create engines as well. And then last but not least, you have Honda. So Honda also creates engines, although they don't have a race team in Formula 1. So as far as the basics of Formula 1, this is definitely the first of many parts of this series. Definitely stay tuned for more because I'm going to go into much more depth. If you have any questions, let me know below. That's been that for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribed. Hope you watch all my other stuff, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.